the digital law engine that is now running inside the world's global CBDC settlement platform, what the EVM is, where it came from, how it works, why its compatibility with Project mBridge is the most prophetically significant technical detail of 2024, what every ancient text says about programmable law without God, and the kingdom warning for every believer. In 2026, Factual Geopolitics 2026, along with a new book out called Mark of the Beast and Your DNA. Sold exclusively on Amazon. What is and how does this affect you? Glad you asked. The Ethereum virtual machine explained, simply buried inside the Project mBridge minimum viable product announcement, is one sentence that most people read past without understanding what it means. And that one sentence changes everything about how the beast system's financial control will actually work. The sentence reads, the MVP platform is enabled to undertake real-value transactions and is also compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine. 7 words. Compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine. If you do not know what the Ethereum virtual machine is, those 7 words sound like harmless technical jargon, the kind of specification detail that you skip over on your way to the parts of the announcement that sound important. That is exactly what the architects of the mBridge platform are counting on. Because those 7 words are not harmless technical jargon. They are the announcement that the world's first operational global central bank digital currency settlement platform, the infrastructure that 63 central banks and counting are building toward, the system that will eventually process the financial transactions of every nation on Earth, has been built with the ability to run programmable law. Not programmable money. Programmable laws. There is a difference, and it is between Revelation 13:17 as a future possibility and Revelation 13:17 as a technically executable reality. This document explains what the Ethereum virtual machine is, where it came from, how it works in terms that anyone can understand, why its compatibility with mBridge is the most significant technical detail in the beast. Systems infrastructure development, and what the Word of God, from Genesis to Revelation, from the Dead Sea Scrolls to the Ethiopian canon, from the Aramaic of Daniel to the Greek of John, says about programmable law without God as its author. Hear this carefully, share it with everyone. This is the piece of the puzzle that completes the picture. This document is part of the Mark of the Beast and Your DNA series. It is written to stand alongside the Project mBridge Deep Study, the BIS History Document, the Quantum Computing Analysis, and the Trump Digital Asset Study, as the technical explanation of the engine that makes the no-buy, no-sell condition of Revelation 13:17 not just theoretically possible but algorithmically executable in real time, at global scale, on a platform that is already operational. Here in Section 1, what the Ethereum virtual machine actually is, from the beginning. 1.1 Start at the beginning. Vitalik Buterin and the 2013 White Paper. Documented fact. The Ethereum network was conceived in 2013 by Vitalik Buterin, a 19-year-old Russian-Canadian programmer who had been deeply involved in the Bitcoin community. Buterin published the Ethereum White Paper in late 2013, with the formal development of the Ethereum protocol beginning in 2014. The Ethereum network went live on July 30, 2015. Bitcoin, which launched in 2009 under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, was a digital currency. It could do one thing: transfer value from one address to another. Buterin's key insight was that a blockchain did not need to be limited to currency transfer. If you could program conditions into the blockchain itself, if you could write code that runs on the blockchain and executes automatically when certain conditions are met, then the blockchain could do almost anything that any software program can do. The Ethereum network was built to be a programmable blockchain. The Ethereum virtual machine is the computational engine that enables programmability. 1.2. What a virtual machine is. Analogy 1. The printing press. Think of a regular computer as a printing press from a specific country. It prints in that country's language, using that country's letter shapes on that country's paper size. If you want to print a document from a different country, you need access to that country's printing press. A virtual machine is a universal printing press. It does not matter what country the original document came from or what language it was written in. The virtual machine translates everything into its own universal format and executes it identically on any hardware anywhere in the world. The Ethereum virtual machine is the universal computing engine that runs Ethereum smart contract code identically on any computer in the Ethereum network, regardless of the computer's hardware or operating system. Analogy 2. The universal translator, the EVM, is like a universal translator that sits between the code that a developer writes and the thousands of computers that run the Ethereum network. A developer writes a smart contract in a programming language called Solidity. The Solidity code is compiled into EVM bytecode, a low-level instruction set. That bytecode is then deployed to the Ethereum network, where every node runs the same EVM and executes it identically. Every computer in the network gets the same result. There is no dispute about what the code says, because every machine runs the same virtual machine and produces the same output. Analogy 3. The judge who never sleeps. A traditional legal contract requires human enforcement. Lawyers, courts, judges, and police. Someone has to read the contract, determine if the conditions have been met, and enforce the outcome. A smart contract running on the EVM requires none of that. The code is the contract. The code reads the conditions itself. The code enforces the outcome itself. The EVM is the judge who never sleeps, never takes a bribe, never makes a clerical error, and never refuses to enforce the contract's terms. When the conditions specified in the code are met, the EVM automatically executes the outcome. No human decision required. 1.3. What a smart contract is. Documented fact. A smart contract is a computer program stored on a blockchain that automatically executes its terms when predetermined conditions are met. The term was coined by cryptographer Nick Szabo in 1994, the same year Peter Shor published his quantum algorithm. Szabo described a smart contract as a computerized transaction protocol that executes the terms of a contract. The classic example. A vending machine. A vending machine is the world's simplest smart contract. When you put in the correct amount of money, condition met, the machine releases the product, automatic execution. No cashier, no receipt, no human decision. The EVM is the most sophisticated vending machine ever built, capable of executing contracts of arbitrary complexity, involving any number of conditions, any number of parties, and any type of asset, automatically and without human intervention. Ethereum smart contracts are written in Solidity, a programming language designed specifically for the EVM. A Solidity smart contract can say, if wallet address X has been verified as identity Y, and identity Y has a compliance score above threshold Z, and the transaction is for an approved category of goods, and the transaction occurs within the approved time window, then execute the transfer of digital currency. Each of those conditions can be checked automatically by the EVM in milliseconds. Each condition can be updated by whoever controls the contract. The execution is instant and irreversible. And on the mBridge platform, where central banks are the operators, the conditions in the smart contract are set by the central bank governors whose validating nodes control the network. Prophetic watch. This is the Beast system's enforcement mechanism made technically explicit. The smart contract on the mBridge EVM-compatible platform is the code that reads whether you have the mark, the verified digital identity credential linked to an authorized CBDC account, before allowing the transaction to execute. Wow, CTA comment, I need this info, give